Robin Carlin, who did a fantastic hockey preview. And how about those Avs last night? Before we talk any fantasy football, I've got to ask you, since it's kind of the story of the country.
Love it.
How about Patrick
Love
Waugh?
it.
You know what I think is funny is he promised us all preseason he would not lose his emotion. And then right before I went off the air, they showed an angle on TV where you could tell he already was angry before the second period was over. And then the next thing I know, I drive home. My guy Will's texting me. He goes, "Did you just see what Waugh did?" And you see the video of him crushing the little guy with that pane of glass.
Well, he didn't like the cheap shot. When they're already up 6-1, the game's over. It's a tone setter. I love it.
You don't go knee to knee.
Players love that when their coach goes to battle for them like that.
And not on an 18-year-old. Don't do that to anybody, but especially an 18-year-old kid, just because you're upset about him being better than you that night.
Because you got whooped. So I think that's a great tone setter for the Avs, and I hope it bodes well for a long, successful season.
What'd you think, Robin?
I liked it. I mean, with Coach Sacco, he was, don't want to talk too bad about him, but he was pretty vanilla.
Dull.
It's nice to see a coach, right?
Had a little fire,
show
right?
some passion. I'm just upset it wasn't against the Red Wings.
Well, I wonder if the
They'll
Red
get
Wings
their
series will
chance.
get interesting again now. They're
I
going
don't
to
know,
see him
because
more now, right?
now they're in a central
Why, is Mike
division,
Vernon the head coach for the Red
Well, no,
Wings?
but I thought
they could fight in the pregame.
Who is in the division? I
For old
thought
time's
we
sake.
jumped into the division
No,
with
we're
the
in
Red
the Central
Wings.
Division. The Red Wings aren't in that division. So now we have like Nashville, Chicago Blackhawks are some new rivals.
Weren't the Red Wings and Blackhawks in the same division?
They were, but they're not anymore.
You know what, NHL? How could you miss the opportunity to have the Avs and the Red Wings as in the same division?
And you know what? Now the Canucks and the Avs aren't in the same division either. So.
Well, you know what? I'm one of the few. I know we've talked to Scott Parker about this. I'm fine with that. That unfortunately, that was not fun sport. What happened with the Canucks and the Todd Bertuzzi situation? That was just
ugly,
distasteful.
Yes.
That was something I wish I'd never witnessed.
Well,
frankly.
maybe that's why Waugh was so upset based on what happened last night.
Well, yeah,
Almost
don't
a similar
go knee
type
to knee
thing
on somebody,
right?
And then to have the kid, the guy that outweighed Downey by 40 pounds, decide that's who you're going to take. Really? You couldn't find Cody McLeod? McLeod was on the ice last I saw. I'm sure you could have sized up someone differently. Anyway, all right. This is Bud Light Broncos primetime, though, so we'll revert. Matt Duchene has promised he's going to try to make it out to one of these. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
He's
have to get
good
a
kid.
little more cooperation in the schedule.
Right.
Right.
Now that it's in the
Look,
season, I don't know that I'm
Matt Duchene says
super optimistic.
he has Peyton. He says in here, he told me who he had on his fantasy team.
Peyton Manning?
He has Peyton Manning. I can't remember who. Oh, Ray Rice. And someone else. I have to find it later.
You know who's a huge fantasy player, from what I understand, is Alex Tanguay. Alex Tanguay can't get enough of it.
And so is Eric Johnson.
Really?
Yep.
Has he got his boy Decker?
I don't know who he has. He said he has a team with his Minnesota buddies and he has the Avs team. But Duchene said he won it. He won it all his rookie year. So.
But hasn't since.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, maybe you learned a lesson. You don't get past the puck.
Robin's got some bragging to do based on her successful selections
For what?
last week, huh? She was already bragging on like Sunday night. Hey,
I know.
I said that, Pittsburgh, Big Ben, and Antonio Brown could have big games. They'll be playing from behind, and that's exactly what happened in garbage time. Ben, they both went off. So to your point, bad teams, like you have a matchup this weekend with Jacksonville and the Rams, you could see some.
See, that's the
had big
point
games.
about this game that kills me, that I haven't completely figured out yet. Guys on bad teams are great fantasy football players.
Yeah, you've got to quit playing
football.
Right.
I play the guys that are on good teams, good offenses, because I think they're going to move the ball. And then they go and put up like a goose egg for the weekend for me.
Well, what are you going to do? You know what? It'll be more interesting conversation next week. What will you do next week when the Broncos play Jacksonville? Because they're going to get their numbers and probably just get out.
Yeah,
that may be a half.
That's an interesting point.
That is going to be like the fourth preseason game.
Yeah, it is tough, especially and I saw this last week when Peyton Manning was pulled. Luckily, I was blowing out whoever I was playing.
Well, he already put up like 32 fantasy points by that time,
Brock,
didn't he?
And so I'm starting Peyton Manning. He's the one who's really getting a lot of points for me. And then if we see Brocco win at the half, then it can kind of be unfortunate.
Well,
for fantasy
Manning,
numbers.
Manning did not want to come out. I couldn't believe it because until the block punt, Manning was going back in that drive. Brock still had on the headgear because I was waiting. I was like, he's got to start warming up at some point, doesn't he? You're not really going to put in Manning when it's 52 to 14
I
at
agree
the time,
with you.
all right?
I agree with you. At that point, it was 49 after the block punt, right?
Was it?
49-13. There's no reason he should be in the game. No way.
I have never lost track of fourth quarters in a game in all my life.
They could have put you in.
You know you're getting spoiled when you're like, what happened?
They could have put you in the game, Andy, and they still would have won.
Well, yeah, I'd have been hurt, but yeah. I wouldn't have walked off that
this
field.
guy's saying, don't jinx it.
Yeah. Let's not go
like,
that far. But see, that's what I think is funny. We kind of talked about that last night. We'll get into some fantasy here in a second, but like I had the kids from the epilogue, the guys from the epilogues in last night. They're all
kids to you,
They're
right?
all decades younger than all of us, but they were saying that they started talking nice or kind of bragging up the Broncos because they're huge Bronco fans, and then they wanted to stop because everybody in this town feels like somehow you're gonna snap Peyton Manning's vision or he's gonna forget how to read defenses or something if they talk positively about the team. Have you found that as you walk around and talk to people? There's still kind of this. It's almost like a hangover from last year that won't go away. It's just going to blow up in our face.
I'm a kicker. I'm superstitious.
Well,
of course,
okay.
I'm not
You're the wrong guy to ask.
I'm not going to say that SB word. I'm going to say the big game in February. Because I don't want to jinx it.
I'm going to say that you and I are going to be doing shows from New York there at some point in February.
I'll go ahead and make that reservation on Radio Row.
That's right.
So you think?
Book it.
Book it today.
And let's not have to bring the Matrix. Let's make sure we got ourselves an ISDN. If you see us lugging around for those in the bar, something that looks like we're taking mob money to somebody, we didn't get the reservation we wanted.
That's actually radio equipment for those of you going, what's in that silver suitcase? No, it's not a pile of money, unfortunately, that Robin won.
Right. It's a pile of junk. And I could use another adjective for it as well. All right, let's talk some fantasy. So we're going to have the Bronco cheerleaders come and join us. Don't forget, we are lucky because we have Patricia, we have Sam, we have Michelle. Michelle doesn't want to talk to me because she's having a rough time in one of her leagues, but she's blowing up in the other.
Oh, that's all the more time you can
I'm
talk
in the same
smack.
boat.
Hey, don't feel bad. I finally won my first game this week.
Yeah.
Darren
so I'm out of the cellar.
I asked you, did you send him an edible arrangement?
Yeah, right.
He saved you.
Who
did it come down to Monday night for you?
Yeah.
It did?
Well, he hadn't played yet, and I was 5 points behind, and Darren Sproles
yeah.
had like a 24-point night.
Yeah.
So I won.
Yeah, how about the
Finally got off the
Saints
schneid.
becoming the Saints again? Are you buying all of that team?
Sean
I
Payton.
am. That defense looks good.
Jimmy Graham
Yeah.
might be not the best tight end, but one of the top receiving guys in the league.
I think
right?
after week 3, and I'll have to check the stat after this last week, but after week 3, he was leading all receivers, not tight ends, in fantasy points.
How about this? He's AFC or NFC Offensive Player of the Month. First time a tight end's won it since they started giving away the award. How about that?
Wow.
He's good.
Tells you how the game's changing, doesn't it?
And you see why a guy like Julius Thomas
Thanks
gets
to
drafted by
Shannon
the
Sharp.
Broncos, right? Jimmy Graham,
Not
former
according to the
basketball
Hall of Fame
player.
voters.
Antonio Gates, former basketball player. Julius Thomas, former basketball player.
Yep.
You know,
There's a
Wesley
trend.
Duke, though,
Jordan
was a
Cameron.
former basketball
Jordan
player, too.
Cameron.
It doesn't work all the time.
Yep.
Just so we can point it out.
So
Nice kid.
So Robin, I know we got the Browns and the Buffalo Bills on tonight, so we missed that boat. By the way, you know, great fantasy tip. Start Fred Jackson if you have him because he's rushed for like 42 yards and a touchdown.
How about your boy McGahee?
Yeah,
I know. Nice.
right.
I'm happy for him.
I am, too.
I wanted to
Look,
see
he
him
was
get
nothing
picked
but a
up.
professional while he was here. He was a bigger
Total
success than
workhorse.
a guy like I expected. I didn't understand why they were making the move. I thought he was done after his days in Baltimore. He was everything they needed him to be. He was a big reason why this team got back to where they needed to be. It just is part of life in the NFL, right? So good for
wanted to
him
go
for,
young.
I guess, good for him now. Willis, I'm sorry come November because you are living in
He
Cleveland.
missed a voluntary minicamp. That's a no-no with Peyton here.
Right. Well,
You
Peyton
don't miss
made sure we
voluntary
knew.
minicamps.
But was he injured? I mean, was he
No,
still?
he was not injured.
wasn't.
No.
Didn't they say
Well,
it
even if
didn't
you're
matter?
there-
He was under contract and should have been here.
You know what he is? He's part of that Miami contingent that doesn't work out in the cities they play in. They all get back in Miami.
Well, that didn't work here in Denver.
No.
Which is why
Elvis
he's in
Dumerville
Cleveland
was
now.
part of that, wasn't he?
No, he was here. He would have been here.
Isn't that why we had our incident a year ago?
No, he didn't have a contract.
A year ago? Yeah, he did.
A year ago,
When there was
I
an
thought you were
issue?
talking about
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
This
past
when
off
things
season.
were alleged and firearms were involved. That was in Miami.
Yeah, I already forgot about that. That's already.
He
water
was
under the
there
bridge,
working
gone.
out, wasn't he?
Gone.
DJ Williams was part of that group. That's what got DJ and Mike partially sideways. Because as you well know, nothing really is voluntary in Mike Shanahan's world. If you're getting paid for it, it's not voluntary.
So if that was under Mike Shanahan, that was a few years ago.
No, with DJ, yeah.
Yeah.
Elvis, do you not remember Elvis getting suspended?
I
And
don't.
And then, the case getting dropped, I guess, and the whole he said, she said about what went down in Miami about 2 weeks before the season.
But he was there for the start of camp.
He was there.
Didn't they bring him out for the media barbecue?
They did.
Yeah.
And he said, they brought him out, and he said, kind of like Vaughn, I can't talk about it, but I am here. So, anyway, you know what? What's wrong with you? Are you getting old, David?
Yeah, the memory's shot.
I mean, really?
I can't remember anything beyond last week.
You don't even know what you had for dinner, did you?
Yeah, I did.
A tavern double.
Tavern double.
I bring that up.
But I had it on Thursday.
I bring that up because if you've not heard about it, Red Robin has Tavern Double Tuesdays. It's their promotion with the Broncos. You can get a Red's Tavern Double Burger with bottomless steak fries with the purchase of an entree and 2 beverages every Tuesday following a 2-sack Sunday or Monday.
Just
or
put it
Thursday.
in the books. Put it in the books. They're going to have 2
get
sacks.
2 against Romo?
Every single week they're going to have 2.
Ask your server for a flyer for all the details of the promotion. We hope to see you again on Tuesday after the game when the Broncos get 2 sacks against Romo. Don't forget we've got the gift cards here. Robin, you want to do a Vanna White for us? You mind that? Can you give us the best, huh? No?
Sure.
Well, I need you to take the cards.
Okay. What do I do?
Seriously, did you not grow up in an age of the Price is Right?
Do you have
Price
a
is
problem
Right.
with us tonight? I'm feeling some aggression.
Have you
here.
not heard me
He's
on the
old.
radio
I'm
before?
apparently dumb.
I'm kind of an instigator. It's kind of how I got the job.
It's Wheel
All
of
right, I'll
Fortune,
do it.
Andy.
Yes.
Not
Now,
Price is
I don't
Right.
have a
Wheel of
pedicure or
Fortune.
anything, is this manicure
Speaking
the
of
nails?
memories being
Whatever
shot.
it is.
Good job.
All right.
Pedicure.
This is the card. Here, you want to get that Shad from the Broncos booster. Huh? Yeah.
Manicure,
all right.
pedicure.
Come up, buy one of these, and it hooks you up with a chance to win Broncos tickets, sideline passes, an away game road trip, and tons of autographed memorabilia when you purchase one of the limited edition cards that's in front of me or David, because Robin apparently refuses to be a part of it. Very disappointing. Already going against
And
corporate
she's
man.
our mascot.
That's
Her
right.
name's Robin. She's wearing red.
Is that red?
Red Robin.
We're going with red?
It's kind of an orangey red.
Yeah.
But it's red.
Yeah.
We'll go
Red?
red.
All right.
We'll go red. It's the light.
All right. Ask your server for more details. We've got the cards up here. I'm not authorized to sell them to you. When we come back, we're going to talk to some of the
That is
cheerleaders
a
that are
true
here
statement.
with their swimsuit calendar.
Got to get one.
Great calendar. Come and take advantage of it. Seriously, we normally only get 2 cheerleaders. So to have 3, it is a special night. Come out and meet Sam, Patricia, and Michelle. We'll be back on Bud Light Broncos Primetime here on 850 KOA.